Hey guys, Hookah here with you today. Today I want to talk to you about hookah beads and diffusers, two very different products that have very similar ideas behind them. The idea is they're supposed to break apart the smoke when you pull on it and make it for a more delicious, smooth smoking experience. So let's go ahead and test these two out and see if they do what they're supposed to. Okay guys, I'm back and today we're looking at the beads. This is about 6 hours later. The beads are fully formed. I decided to light it up so you guys could see the different layers of beads that they are all the way to the top. It's very pretty this way, but I have noticed, because I pulled on it once or twice already, that it makes the draw extremely difficult. Does it cut the harshness? A little bit, yeah. Does it make it less loud? Definitely. What sounded like glug 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 before now kind of just sounds like a faint whisper. My only concern is, even though that it's very deep in there, my stem, how much is actually getting filtered, because the beads are taking up a majority of the room now. I see the smoke passing through the beads, and I know there's water in there, but I feel a little bit iffy about it, like it's not passing through enough water. So there's that. Overall, the beads are doing their job, and they do look really pretty. Now, would this be my go-to? Probably not. And the reason is you have to wait 6 hours. I wouldn't recommend using them more than once or twice. And you have to buy them every year. Whereas a diffuser, you buy it once, you toss it on there, and it's good to go. Okay, guys, so just for a reference, this is what it looks like and smokes like without anything on it. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear that noise, but let me pull on it one more time and get a little bit closer, see if you guys can hear it. Now, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but without a diffuser on, without anything to diffuse the smoke, that's what you're going to hear. And that drives me nuts. So, okay, and for the last comparison, I'm going to take this little diffuser here. I'm going to put it on the stem and let you guys hear what that sounds like. People I know put it all the way to the bottom. Some people push it all the way to the top. I don't think it makes much of a difference. Okay, so let's see how she smokes with that on. Wait a sec, that was a huge cloud. So move really close so you can hear what it sounds like. Last little thing, my ideal setup would look something like this. It would have ice in it, diffuser, that way you get best of both worlds, cooler smoke, but also quiet smoke. Smoke comes out ice cold. Really removing that harshness. So if you had to ask me what I would go with, I would either make the beads really cold or I'd go with diffuser and ice. So that's my review. Comment, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this comparison. Okay guys, so what I have in front of you is my vase, and I just put in a tablespoon of the beads, and they're pretty awesome. They do take 4 hours to 6 hours to really get done, and I sped this up times 64, so you actually see the total amount of time it takes for them to become full size. They are more of an aesthetic thing, and I decided to throw this in at the video so you guys could, I don't know, it's just fascinating to me that they expand and then they become so beautiful. So I would suggest, if you already have a pretty good smoke, or if you already have a diffuser on it, I would toss this in at the beginning of a party, and then they'll gradually get bigger, and people will be amazed by, at the end of the party, how big they are. You could just dump these down the sink when you're done. But yeah, really pretty. Does make the smoke a little bit better. I noticed that you'll see me pulling on it a little bit right now. It does change how it smokes gradually. It does become smoother. It does become a little bit cooler. It's mind-blowing actually for me, because I thought these things were a complete myth. I thought they were just for good looks, but it does quietly, slowly become quieter. So, I mean, it's definitely something you should consider. I would go with a diffuser instead of this with ice, because you have to put this in every time. I just leave my diffuser on. I clean it every once in a while, but really it doesn't get gunky. So that is one of the concerns with the diffuser, however, that it does get gunky, and there's no, they say you have to replace it every once in a while. I don't. I just hit it with some soap water and put it back in there. But diffuser seems like the way to go with me, because it's just less maintenance. You don't have to do it every time. You don't have to toss them every time, and they're ready whenever you're ready. So something to consider. So we're about a minute 44 in, and you'll notice they're getting quite big. Right now, you'll probably get a majority of the effort. I think this is really the ideal stage right now, because when they get too big, like I did my review just recently on them, there's a lot less water, and that brought up some concerns with me that maybe it's not really going through the water like it should. And if you use the tablespoon that's required, and a tablespoon turns into about 4 quarts worth, it turns into 1 quart, which is 4 cups, that becomes a problem, because if your vase is less than a quart, it'll suck up all the water, which mine is. Mine is 3 cups, so a little bit less than a quart, 3/4 of a quart, I guess. And when I looked at this later, there was no water in it whatsoever, so I did have to dump a little bit of the beads and add a little bit of water before the review earlier. But yeah, this is already a huge difference from what we saw earlier. And that's only about 2 hours in. So right now, I think would be, like I said, ideal to smoke it around now. So again, I think if you went with 2 colors, like if you got 2 Roys or 2 Labu beads, whatever, or 2 art beads, they're all the same. At the end of the day, they're all the same. If you just mix 2 colors,